What's up guys, Shouri here, and today we are going to go over how to get the phone settings for just thumbs. If you just wanted to take a screenshot and then copy it, go ahead and do that. But if you want to know exactly why you're going to have your buttons where they are, and you're going to want to see exactly why you should change your buttons around just a little bit from this, then stay and stick around. I'll explain everything and we'll go over it. One thing, this works great. You can do everything on this game with two thumbs, except you're gonna have some trouble in the later stages. You really do want to start adding more fingers at some point, but for now, we're gonna go over two thumbs, and the first thing we're gonna do is we are gonna reset everything, and then I'll show you why we're gonna have the things we're gonna have. I'm going to do a settings video tomorrow, so I'm not going to go over all these settings, but I will show you important ones are going to be basically those 5 there. But luckily for us, they do change with these buttons, and they give the most amazing advice when they give you these options. So we're going to go in that gray box up at the top, and in the bottom left is 3 and 4 fingers. You want to hit 3 fingers. And don't worry, you will not need 3 fingers for this, but again, you're going to want to use that in the future, and they know that, so that's why it says that. And they're going to show you a bunch of different buttons, and don't worry, it looks very complicated, and there are a lot of buttons, but it's not really complicated. And a lot of these buttons end up being blacked out, so it doesn't even matter. So the first thing we're going to do is make that big shooty thingy smaller, because we're going to have it be invisible. Then we move the mini map over. Then we're going to want to move our auto sprint down to make it easier to hit auto sprint. So then I like to put all of the things that are blacked out in the middle because it kind of works out. But we're going to want that scope button, and we're going to unblock it because it's kind of important. It makes it where if you have multiple scopes, you can change them between your different guns. And that can be important, especially if you get the wrong scope on the wrong gun. So I like to have that there. And then if you have a variable scope, it's really important to have that there in case you want to change it. So some scopes can be like 2x or 4x, which makes it shoot a lot further, a lot more accurately. So it's really important to have that there. And then we're going to go ahead and close our loot box so we can move things over. I would not have my ultimate here. I moved it there just because I'm an idiot. And it needs to be less near your thumb because you're going to accidentally hit it. So I would move it more up and over, probably where the cancel button is. Maybe even where the quick loot button is, like just above it. I was trying to keep that cleared because you don't want that to happen. But either way, we're going to have a big shoot button, and we need to clear a little bit of area for our thumb. But we also need to make sure that we have access to our reload button, which is going to be super important. And then we need to make it bigger because it's important to reload. But we're going to put that in the corner down there. And then we're going to make crouch big and put it right under our shoot button. And we're going to try to make sure we have a good bit of clearance. And then we're going to put our jump button right there. And then we're going to be able to have a nice little area for our thumb to be able to move and not worry about anything. And when you hit that shoot button on the right, you're able to look right and left, no problem, and shoot at the same time. I'm going to go ahead and move things over to tidy things up just a little bit. And it's going to look pretty good. We're going to meet our loot box and move it over. This is the loot box that'll come up when you open people's chest or things off the ground. It needs to be easily accessible, but also out of the way. It's very hard to get this thing to work, but hey, what you gonna do? So the settings are auto-firing off. Definitely suggest you do that because it is much better. But if you really want to, you can have it fire for you. And it is what it is. They have a light setup, which can make it to where a lot of things are basically easier for you. But you're going to be at super disadvantages if you do those. Then we're going to have the left fire button off. You don't really need it, and it is really big. It's going to take up a lot of space. That's why we have that one off. One tap ADS and fire is fire with ADS. That is what allows you to one hand be able to play and be able to shoot on the right side. That is super important. And then it says bolt action sniper mode, and so what happens is it's going to release whenever you release the button. So you can hold down your fire mode and scope mode without it firing until you release, which is super important with this setup and can't really be done any other way with this, because you're not going to be able to hit that scope much with your thumb, and it's going to be a lot easier to just be able to release the sniper when you're ready. And shotgun is going to be fire after ADS, which is going to make it to where when you hit scope fire, it's going to wait until you are finished with your scope so you can hit them more accurately. And then ADS mode is tap, which just means that if you tap the scope button, it'll ADS. So you can go and use these settings and do whatever you need to. You can use your ultimate. That's probably why you don't want it right next to your thumb. But you can hit people, you can shoot them, everything you need to do, you can use it and enjoy this game, because Apex did a great job. I think they just took everything good about COD Mobile and then left out some of the bad stuff, and the Apex PC players are basically saying that they took all the good things from their game and then did all the good upgrades that they asked for, but they never got. So that's good. I mean, I hope they get those upgrades they want, though. Either way, I think this is a good game, and I've enjoyed it a bunch. I hope you guys have enjoyed this. Thank you to my supporters and people who've donated and my channel members. I appreciate you guys.